Good morning and welcome back. I'd just like to make apologies for the poor quality of our live stream today due to technical issues and low bandwidth. Council minutes will be available for any clarification. We will now move on to general business. Any general business? Councillor Chewy.
Yes, through the chair, I would just like to take the opportunity to thank everybody that made Australia Day nominations. It's exciting to see community members and events rewarded for their work in community. A reminder to, if you are wanting to attend the event at the Innisfail Shire Hall, please go ahead and book. We already have 123 tickets as taken. So we'd love to see a full crowd. There's going to be live entertainment and I believe a special guest to which I know nothing about, but it's going to be a great evening. Prior to that is our citizenship ceremony, so community is also welcome to attend that. So yes, once again, thank you to all those that have taken the time to acknowledge and recognise people and events in our community. And I would also like to take the opportunity to thank and wish everybody a great Christmas. Thank you to all our staff that have facilitated to make my life easier in my role as council. And I wish our community a safe, happy and joyful Christmas period. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Jessup.
Yes, thank you. I've been attending quite a few of the local markets around the area. Alarish Monster Markets, what a wonderful event every year. And there's also one coming up this weekend on Saturday at Silkwood. They're great events to attend because you can find the unusual Christmas present or something that you've been searching for a while. And these community events making people happy. So one other event that I did attend was Carols by Candlelight, which was hosted by the Combined Churches of Tully. And this was supported by our community, attracting a possible 350 to 400 attendance. So well done to the community. Like I say, look after everybody in this Christmas season, and I would like to take the opportunity to wish all of our communities a very Merry Christmas. Stay safe. And as my very wise mother used to say, it's better to be a little bit late than dead on time. So drive carefully over this Christmas season. Thank you.
Thank you. So I've got a couple of community announcements I'd like to make. First of all, I'd just like to say that our customer service outlets will be shut from the 20th through to the 6th of January. However, we will have a skeleton crew that will be on call. If you have any issues, I encourage you to ring 1300 763 903. This number will assist you with your issues and it will put you through to the person on call. Should it be urgent or your life in danger, please don't ring council, ring 000. We have a disaster dashboard that you can follow. So you can go onto our council website and put in disaster dashboard. This will give you road closures, power outages, weather updates, has a lot of other useful information, has all the emergency numbers. So yeah, that's on our council website. And I encourage you all to have a plan and an emergency kit organised for the up and coming disaster season should anything happen. All of the disaster team is ready to go. They've checked everything out and we've had our meetings and fingers crossed we'll send it somewhere else so that we don't have it. And I too would like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a safe New Year. And we'll see you in the next year, 2025. Anybody else? Councillor Littlemore?
Thank you, Chair. I noticed your Facebook post the other day about the installation of flood gauges, and I'd just like to thank the team, the staff, for getting that organised, getting them in place, and I hope that they're able to get them live and operational before the rain starts. So I'd just like to thank you for that post, and I'd like to thank the team for all of their efforts with this flood gauge stuff. It makes a difference to people's everyday lives if they're not relying on an opinion on Facebook as to whether a creek might be flooded or not.
So they're actually flood sensors. They are an infrared ray that goes straight to the ground. They're not taking pictures of anybody. They're not spying on anybody. It's a little blue device that you will see. If there's one in your vicinity, I encourage you to take it under your wing and make sure nobody destroys it, because it's there for your benefit. Yeah. Anybody else? Councillor Baines.
Well, far be it from me to not speak at the last meeting of the year, Madam Mayor, so thank you for your indulgence. Again, I reiterate the best wishes for everyone for this festive season, however you celebrate your festive season. Merry Christmas to all my family and all my people, but there's many other ways that people celebrate the festive season. 2024 was an extraordinary year. In the space of not just a local government election, but also in the space of the events that happened and some of the extraordinary actions that rolled out of some of that work. So it's very good that you've mentioned the disaster preparedness stuff. You know, that's very important. There is 2 sessions on disaster preparedness at the Innisfail Community Support Centre on Monday, this Monday coming. There's one at 1:30 in the afternoon. I believe the other one is 6 p.m. So there's a couple of sessions there. I know council will be there, QPS, Fireys, SES. So if you, especially if you're new to the region, come along and have a listen. The disaster dashboard is always available. But here's to a really successful and exciting 2025. I'm looking forward to it, having this new corporate plan in place and the innovative way that we're approaching it. I think we're setting ourselves up for success from the start. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next year.
Very good. So that moves us into our closed session. The meeting will now be closed to the public in accordance with section 254J13. Legal advice obtained by the local government or legal proceedings involving the local government and or negotiations relating to commercial matters of the local government. To consider the following reports: item 7.1, sundry debtor 102260, review of outstanding debt, and item 7.2, finance management, land and property disposals and acquisition, and item 7.3, contract CCW 000295 water main replacements. Can I have a mover? Councillor Chewy, and a seconder, Councillor Littlemore. All those in favour? Carried, and we'll see you soon. We move out of closed session. Can I please have a mover and seconder to open the meeting?
Happy to move.
Moved by Councillor Baines, seconded by Councillor Jessup. All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Over to you, Ms Vick.
Morning, Ms Vick.
This report provides council with a timeline relating to the outstanding lease debt for the Duck Island Spit. The former lessee commenced a 30-year lease with council on the 9th of March 2020 and went into external administration on the 9th of September 2020. The first 6 months of the lease agreement was free of charge. However, council continued to charge this debtor from the 9th of September 2020 to the 29th of March 2021, which is when council took back possession of the Duck Island Spit. The recommendation is that council, due to the former lessee's company being forcibly wound up, approve to write off the outstanding sundry debtor balance of $14,706.52 in relation to the Duck Island Spit lease, which commenced 9 March 2020. Any questions?
Councillor Chewy, moving it. Seconded by Councillor Jessup. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. Morning, Ms Hudson.
Good morning, Miss Hudson.
Good morning, everyone. This report sets up the foundational financial management recommendations for the disposal and acquisition of land and property, including a recommendation that council creates an infrastructure reserve for land and property and allocates an existing infrastructure reserve fund and all future monies and proceeds from the disposal of council land and property to this new infrastructure reserve land and property. This reserve will be used for the acquisition of strategic land and property. Funds from this reserve and council's operating budget may be required for ancillary activities needed to dispose, such as evaluations, property history reports, etc., and acquire valuations, stamp duty, as examples, and undertake related works to enable safe and fit for purpose use or disposal. Previous resolutions will be rescinded for clarity of process in relation to disposals and benefits to asset acquisitions. Additionally, as part of the financial year 2025-26 budget, it is proposed that council consider the creation of a one-off traditional owners cultural heritage infrastructure grant to recognise the contributions and former intended use as a cultural theatre of the disposed property. Recommendations are that council, number 1, create a separate capital reserve to be identified the infrastructure reserve - land and property. Number 2, approve all funds, $333,182 from the sale of the unrequired dominance and held in the infrastructure reserve since June 2014 to be allocated to an infrastructure reserve land and property. Number 3, approve that these funds held in the infrastructure reserve land and property and other revenue received from the sale of surplus lands and properties will be allocated through future budget reviews and annual budgets to enable expenditure on related land and property acquisition activities such as make safe and fit for purpose works as required, service loan repayments for the acquisition of strategic land and property, and fund ancillary actions to dispose of land and property and fund the conversion of reserve land to freehold to enable disposal. Number 4, request that the Chief Executive Officer make amendments to the 2024-25 financial year capital budget at Budget Review 2 to recognise the additional income from the disposal of land and property of Lot 1 on SP 152304 King Ranch Cultural Theatre Munro Plains, and to recognise additional capital expenditure of approximately $66,000 for deposit and stamp duties in relation to the acquisition of property Lot 617 on I-2811 39 Owen Street, Innisfail. Number 5, request that the Chief Executive Officer make amendments at Budget Review 2 to increase operational expenditure in the 24-25 financial year to include 15,000 for emergent works to enable immediate make safe to remove a derelict shed. Number 6, approve the expenditure of funds of approximately 503,653 in the 25-26 financial year capital budget for the settlement costs of acquiring property lot 617 on I-2811, 39 Owen Street, Innisfail, 453,665, and undertaking further fit for purpose works of up to $50,000. Number 7, rescind resolution 3A of council resolution number LG 0998 dated 13th May 2021 that applied section 236(1)(c)(15) or 4 to dispose of land to the adjoining landowner, and instead dispose of the land and property lot 1 on SP 152304 King Ranch Cultural Theatre, Munro Plains, by public tender. Number 8, rescind resolution part of council resolution number LG 0904 dated the 21st of January 2021 that 1 supports the rationalisation of the following assets: the covered car parks corner of Grey Street and Owen Street, Innisfail, by entering discussions with interest parties on entering into a lease agreement that includes ownership or removal of structures and maintainers and covered parking. Due to the operational value of retaining and managing the structures through a facility agreement whereby a lease may restrict future opportunities and some income is received until strategic land and property decisions are made on 41 Owen Street, Innisfail. Number 9, in accordance with the Local Government Act 2009, delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to enter into contracts, negotiate, finalise and execute any and all matters associated with or in relation to the disposal of Lot 1 on SP 152304 King Ranch Cultural Theatre, Munro Plains, and acquisition of the strategic property of Lot 1 617 on I-2811 39 Owen Street, Innisfail, subject to council's normal procurement policies and practices. Number 10, consider the creation and inclusion of a one-off traditional owners cultural heritage infrastructure grant in the financial year 25-26 operating budget of up to 30,000 GST exclusive. This recognises the contributions of local traditional owners and the former intended use as a cultural theatre of the property to be disposed of by sale.
Now, to get your breath back after all that. Yes, Councillor Jessup, yep.
Could you just repeat for me the lot numbers, because they're not matching up to what's in the recommendation?
So the Owen Street is lot 617 I-2811.
Well,
So there is missing a 1 on
Yeah.
the first resolution number 4.
Yes, and there was one further up as well.
Missing on the resolution 6.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so I've got a question before we move on. So it says this reserve will be used for the acquisition of strategic land and property. Funds from this reserve and council's operating budget may be required for ancillary activities required to dispose and or acquire and undertake related works to enable safe and fit for purpose use or disposal. Is that only referring to this particular?
Through the chair.
In-
No, the resolution sets up the arrangements for future disposals and acquisitions. If further council land and properties are disposed of through our approved procurement processes, which includes disposal, revenue will be then put into this new infrastructure reserve for land and property for the capital components, but through expenditure will need to come for our operational through our normal budget programs and our budget reviews for both the capital and disposal. So it actually provides a basis. So it's for future as well as this today.
So therefore, if we already owned a property, yeah, that's it. If we've already owned a property and we wanted to make improvements, we could use some of this funding to do that.
Yes, we could, in terms of the capital particularly, and then through our operating budget, either a budget development or through our budget review process, if there needed to be operational activities, we would come through our operational program.
Okay, and then the opportunity to consider the creation of the one-off grant, will there be criteria that has to be met for that grant? Are there specific?
Yes, we would look to developing a number of criteria that talks about what that funds would be available for from an infrastructure perspective, who may be eligible in that perspective, but then also some of the criteria that might be telling us a little bit more about what that will be applied to in terms of the grant, and then some programs around how that financial structure for that grant payment is made.
So possibly there could be more than one application for that.
There could be potentially more than one application, but they would need to meet the criteria
Yeah,
and then
okay.
also manage that through an acquittal process.
Okay, well, that's fair. Okay. Anybody else got any questions?
Happy to move the resolution.
Moved by councillor Baines, seconded by councillor Jessup. All in favour? Thank you, thank you.
Thank
Might
you.
need to get a drink of water on your way back. Now we have item 7.3, contract CCW 000295 water main replacements. Good morning, Mr. Mushmishi.
Good morning,
Good morning, Mr.
Mayor
Musmet.
and councillors. Morning. This report is for council to consider submitted tenders and award CCW 000295 water main replacements as follows: Railway Street, Gundy Hill, Innisfail, and Victoria Street, Silkwood. This project will see the supply and installation of approximately 1,120 metres in portion 1 and 586 metres portion 2 of 150 millimetre ductile line concrete lined pipe and approximately 1,075 metres of PVC pipework with associated property services, hydrants and valves. It is proposed to award this lump sum contract separable portion 1 to JR Pipeline Party Limited and separable portion 2 to Risley Enterprises Party Limited, trading as Celtic Construction Utility Services, who submitted the highest scoring tenders submissions following the assessment process. Recommendation that Council 1. Accept lump sum tender for contract CCW 000295 water main replacement separable portion 1 submitted by JR Pipelines Party Limited. 2. Accept the lump sum tender for contract CCW 000295 water main replacement separable portion 2 submitted by Risley Enterprises Party Limited, trading as Celtic Construction Utility Services. 3. In accordance with the Local Government Act 2009, Council delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to enter into a contract, negotiate, finalise and execute any and all matters associated with or in relation to the contract, subject to Council's existing procurement policies and practices. 4. Note the tendered amount from JR Pipelines Party Limited, trading for contract CCW 000295, separable portion 1 is $953,523.22, excluding. And 5. Note the tendered amount from Risley Enterprises Party Limited, trading as Celtic Construction Utility Services for contract CCW 000295, separable portion 2 is $247,818, excluding.
Thank you. I understand that some of these pipes were as old as 1962, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah, well, they've served their purpose, haven't they? I just got a question, the extension in for the Silkwood job, does that extend into Mary Street at all?
that's
It does include the extension into Mary Street? Okay, very good. Okay, councillor Chewy?
Thank you. Through the chair. The Silkwood one was obviously looks like a very big job. When would should this be approved today? When would work be starting? Do you know?
Through the chair,
Or hope to start?
yes. So
through the chair, the Silkwood one is considerably smaller than the railway street.
Oh,
Railway
I beg your
Street.
pardon. No, I'm round the wrong way. I'm sorry, Christmasitis. So the first one I was talking about with the nearly $1 million, I would consider quite a large portion of money. So yes, yeah, forgive me. When are they likely to start the works?
We would awarding as soon as we can, and then there's a 20-week contract period because we want to be finished before the financial year. So
Okay, so there's a timeline.
Through the chair, it's unlikely that we would have contracts awarded and they would mobilise to site before that shutdown period. So
obviously, I mean,
I'd
obviously,
likely see
yes.
early in the new year, and it's critical that 20-week period
Yeah.
that we get this one delivered. This is funded through that wiser funding thanks to the state and federal government.
No, it's as the mayor was referring to. It's obviously all happening, so it's very good. So I'm with timeline now with Christmas and New Year and holidays and things. I just was unsure
It's
about
generally the work that people don't really care about because it's under the ground and not visible. So, but it has to be done at the end of the day. Things don't last forever. I just have another question that I see that both the contract numbers are the same and we've got them split into separable portions. What was the science around that?
So through the chair, we separated the portions because the work is in two distinctively different locations, and we were allowing opportunity for more efficiency for either smaller contractors or larger contractors to be able to bid separately on the work they wanted to bid for, to tender for.
Through the chair, and where we have previously awarded the package of 8, which was in Innisfail exclusively, there's obviously some economies of scale there where one contractor mobilises to site, they have one site compounded. This was a real opportunity to understand whether those economies are there when the sites are geographically separated, and the fact that they have been awarded to two different contractors demonstrates that through this process there was no economy in packaging those two pieces up, which is an interesting outcome.
I guess it gets them both done quicker too, I guess, so given that we are in our best period. Any other questions? Moved by Councillor Jessup, seconded by Councillor Chewy. All in favour? That brings us to a close. Thank you, Mr. Mushimishi, and thank you everybody, and have a safe and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone.